Herb. Herb is a plant. I mean, herbs are good for everything. Herb.
Hello and welcome to the Eugene Cannabis TV. You got DanK on this side and we got Reverend Will over on the other side here, and we're going to talk about some state issues and maybe some California things concerning cannabis and marijuana. And I want to start out by talking about the political cartoon that came in the Register Guard that was out on April 28th. This is a local cartoonist, SpringerCreative.com. I've forgotten his whole name, but shows a guy reading the paper saying, "This race for Oregon's Attorney General is disgusting. Two Democrats quibbling over the best way to distribute medical marijuana to all the slackers across the state. It makes me so mad my joints ache." His wife says, "Time for your medication, dear?" He says, "Yes. Roll me a big one, would you, hon?" So I'm trying to figure out whether this is a good joke or a bad joke as far as the issue is concerned, but it does show the hypocrisy, like one of the crew here at the studio pointed out. But then Will also had another way to look at it, especially the joint. I didn't catch the joint connection, or if there is one. But
you know, it just shows the inability of people to be able to figure out what's going on. I mean, this guy Holton is directly against the medical marijuana program. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is actually an agent of the federal government.
We're talking about Holton.
We're talking about Holton, and this thing, what I said was, it makes me so mad my joints ache. Joints being pot, rolled, smoked. It's just one of those things. To me, it just doesn't make sense. It's just like talking about the football players, you know. I mean, nobody knows what football players, why they do what they do, but for myself, I knew a person who lived where some of the football players were, and they found them to be very responsible as far as how they smoked. You know, they didn't smoke around game time. They didn't smoke when they were going to practice and stuff. They were very conscious about what they were doing. They were just using it as a stress reliever, which is one of the things we've talked about in the past. The fact that stress exacerbates every illness out there. So if it helps you to relax, I guess that's the big problem with the government. They don't want us relaxed. They don't want us living a long life, and I don't understand why, but it just seems to be part of their process.
Yeah, you can't argue with the results. So we got the press release for the Global Marijuana March, which is going to take place May 5th. That's a Saturday, May 5th. We're going to start at 11 a.m. at the Freedom Plaza in front of the Lane County Courthouse. That's the Wayne Morris Free Speech Plaza across from Saturday Market. And we're going to march around park blocks, around Saturday Market, and around downtown, staying on the sidewalks and obeying pedestrians' laws. That way we don't have to pay a fee to have a parade and use the street and all that. And then we'll come back to the plaza at noon, and that's where we'll have the rally, and we'll have speakers. We've got Alan Erickson, which is an old friend of ours. He used to work out at Condi's in the forklift, running the forklift out there, and has gotten real active, and now he's a writer and a speaker for the Media Awareness Project. He's one of the leading letter to the editor authors. Right. And so he's doing a great job. We got Bob Wolf coming. Bob Wolf is the chief petitioner of I-24, the initiative to Citizens for Sensible Law Enforcement. They're doing a great job, and a good chance it'll be on the ballot. And
but he's the one that was challenged with whether or not they were doing it properly.
Right. He got fined $65,000, which is the highest fine that any chief petitioner has ever been assigned in the state of Oregon. And of course, it's on the marijuana issue, you know. So they are going to fight that fine and hopefully at least get it reduced. So I'm not sure where that's going, but Bob Wolf is very well spoken, and it'll be a treat to hear him speak. Bradley Steinman is the Lewis and Clark SSTP, Students for a Sensible Drug Policy president. Very bright young man and one of our new leaders in the drug reform movement. So, Brian Michaels, attorney at law, a longtime attorney here in Eugene. He's on the normal board. He'll be speaking. Cheryl Smith, the counsel and director of Compassion Center. Then we got Elvie Musica. Elvie's been on the show before. Elvie's one of the 4 remaining CIND program members. She gets federal medical marijuana from the state. And of course, Jim Gregg is my co-director here for the event. He's a board member for Voter Power Foundation and organizer for this Americans for Safe Access. We're going to have Jim Clark, who is the Democrat candidate for state treasurer, and also he's the founder and director of the Oregon Green Free organization. John Sajo is the director and the founder of Voter Power Foundation, very instrumental in getting the initiative on the ballot in the first place for medical marijuana. Lynette Shaw won't be able to come. She has some illness in the family, so she's with LEAP. She won't be able to make it this year. We've got our friend Reverend Will right here, political commentator on U.S. Cannabis TV and the founder of the Church of the Caring.
Thank you.
So I like the social, by the way, that was Jim's idea, and I thought that was a really good one. Political commentator, there's your new tag.
All right.
It's like a business card I was going to make for my wife one time. You'll advice whether you like it or not. So
there you go.
Will's a big commentator, whether you like it or not. Dr. Rick Stegenborg, and he'll be coming on the show at some point, I believe. And he's the founder and director of Veterans for Peace International, very well spoken. Sam Chapman, our local guy, which is the U of O or a student organizer for the SSTP chapter here in Eugene. And Shelley Fox. Actually, I made a mistake there. Shelley Fox is the lead spokesman that can't be here. Lynette Shaw will be here. She's the former California Attorney General candidate and the founder and director of Marin Alliance for Medical Marijuana. And then we have Todd Delato. Todd Delato is the ACMM chair. He's the chairman of the advisory committee for the medical marijuana program and president of CAN Research, Education and Consulting, a company that he started himself. So anyway, there's the lineup of the speakers, and we'll have an open mic and have some other speaking, and we have information booths there, and you can have a chance to pick up the Just Say No flyer that I talk about. It's got the local information for cannabis for the Eugene area. So anyway, that's Saturday, 11. It starts at 11 and then the rally starts at 12, and that's on the Freedom Plaza, 8th and Oak. So please be there and show your strength and your support.
I'd also like to let you know that while that's going on, while the rally itself is going on, there's going to be a few of us who are going to go over to the federal building, and we're going to walk around both the federal buildings as we have done at each of the global marijuana marches that have existed, because we would like to be the walls of Jericho tearing the federal building down brick by brick, if that's what needs to be done, because they do not respect us and they need to. And if that's what it takes, I'm looking forward to the day when those walls tumble. So anybody who's interested, bring a bike, or you're welcome to connect with me during the rally, because I'll be taking off and going over to the federal building and doing our little thing to support the rally itself. Then we've also got this medical pot lights up Attorney General race.
Yeah, we're talking about the Attorney General race again. That's the one between Ellen Rosenblum and Dwight Holton. I like the tagline, Dwight's not right.
That's
for
it.
Attorney General.
Right. You know, of the thousands of laws that Oregon's Attorney General enforces or interprets, the one allowing medical marijuana has lit up the campaign for that office more than any other. In a Democratic primary where the candidates agree on many things, their differences over marijuana stand out. It's anyone's guess whether the pot vote will be enough to tip the scales, but no Republicans are seeking the job, so Democrats alone will choose the state's top lawyer in the May 15th primary. I'd like you to know that this former federal prosecutor, Dwight Holton, has called Oregon's marijuana law a train wreck, and he was the U.S. Attorney for Oregon when federal agents raided marijuana farms that were legal under state law. If that's who you want in there, understand this man does not believe in states' rights over federal rights. He is totally supportive of the federal government making a statement with no viable support or proof of how bad marijuana is supposed to be, and he wants it shut down. Pay attention, folks, for all of you, although it's a little late now if you're not registered as a Democrat, and I found that out the hard way. You're not able to vote in the Democratic primary, and that's why Holton moved from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party, because he didn't have anyone going against him in the Republican Party, and if he takes her out in the Democratic primary, then he doesn't have anyone to run against. So his rival and retired Court of Appeals judge, Ellen Rosenblum, has staked out a mellower view, saying she'll make marijuana enforcement a low priority. She has hammered Holton over the issue with the help of a political action committee that wants to legalize the drug. Mr. Holton is out of step with his own party on this issue, said Bob Wolf, director of the Citizens for Sensible Law Enforcement. He's trying to climb the career ladder on the backs of medical marijuana patients, and I, as well as me, do not find that acceptable. We already talked about his committee being fined so much, $65,000.
Yeah, I went up to the rally. They had a rally last Friday up in Portland at the City Club, where they were having the third, Holton and Rosenblum were having their debate in front of the City Club. And we had a rally up there, and it was a pretty neat time. Actually, we had more Eugene people there than there were Portland people. Which is kind of unfortunate. But anyway, we had a pretty good turnout, and I met one guy that was very inspiring. He just stopped by to see what was going on. He didn't have to go to work for like an hour and a half, and he ended up putting a sticker on, picked up a sign, and joined in. And he didn't know us from Adam, up until he walked out.
Wow.
And I explained to him what was going on, and it was really neat. In hindsight, I wish I'd gotten his number to keep in touch with him. But anyway, it was a good time, and the debate went as well we expected. So, I wouldn't run with these other stories later. I think we only got about a minute to go, so let's just go ahead and wrap this up and talk about the marijuana march. And you got 30 seconds to tell us what you know and what you want to talk about.
Mainly, my whole thing is I'd really like to see us quit being so apathetic. I would love to see 1,000 people out there at minimum to be able to be in the streets and to show the people of Eugene, because understand, it's like we don't exist. They really don't count our money when it comes into their buildings. I mean, if we had some kind of tag on our forehead that says marijuana patient, and we spend our money, maybe we could start making these people understand your city, your community would not exist without our help.
That's right. The cannabis economy, Will's been telling us that for years, so we need to have the cannabis economy. Anyway, we got to wrap it up, and we'll talk about more in upcoming shows, I can guarantee you.
Thank you.
Are you tired of following all the rules? Ready to let loose? Have a little fun? Sounds like you need to. Get high. And with Narcomex Incorporated, your direct-to-consumer drug trafficking solution, you can. Narcomex values your business. That's why we're your #1 supplier of drugs, and you're our #1 consumer. These billions can't be wrong. We work hard for your business and have killed not 1, not 2, but 3 Mexican police and 2 journalists just to keep you high with that very joint. Why, our commitment to keeping you supplied has killed over 17,000 people right next door. Traffickers, soldiers,